Let me talk quick about what's next. So a lot's been happening, but we got a lot more to go. John mentioned the M1 project. It's been I guess I will call it a labor of love for the last 8 or 10 years that I've been playing around with it. But we have no transit to speak of, or poor transit in our region. And ironically, as I said, we used to have all these streetcars, but we tore them all out, right? And now we realized that was a big mistake. So we're putting a streetcar back in the heart of our downtown. We're very sort of linearly focused. We got the riverfront, we've got Woodward, and this connects everything along Woodward, and it's a big deal for us. It's really pretty interesting. We have raised, it's about a $150 million capital project in round numbers, and then operating. We've raised more than $100 million of that money philanthropically. So pretty much every major corporation in our community, every foundation has come to the table because we couldn't get the feds to believe that we were real about doing transit. We couldn't get them to believe that we could really cooperate on something. So we said we're going to do the first kind of moonshot ourselves. Construction's underway on that, well underway. Going to be done by this time next year. Will be operational by the first quarter of 2017. Game changer, we really believe, as far as what's taking place down here. And our experience around the country, and many of you are obviously from communities that have this, is once you get it started, then it's easy to do the next mile or do this jog or so on. So we're really excited about that. While we're ripped up Woodward and rebuilding Woodward, we rocked, said, hey, we're going to be a tech hub, we're going to be millennials, we're going to be all this kind of stuff. And we're dealing with Comcast. I hope there's no Comcast officials here. But it's not always the best from an internet connectivity standpoint and so on. So we're laying fiber optics at the same time. And in the core of our downtown, we're going to be able to provide capacity at 100 times the speed of Comcast and up from there, honestly, at a percentage of the cost. And ultimately, we're going to take that out into the neighborhoods as well. We want to wire the city of Detroit. We rock and continue to buy really cool buildings and trying to figure out what to do with them economically. But they are too cool not to take care of. And so here's 3 that we picked up recently. And we're going to be transforming these into mixed use, and we'll have a lot more to talk about on that soon. We are hardly alone. The Illiches, just to use another example, are doing this great project. We've always had this sort of hole in the donut between the downtown and midtown. It's been this area. The project that they have in mind with the new arena that's well under construction, as well as all the neighborhoods around there, is going to be transformative. We're doing East Riverfront. This is actually McCormick Barron is doing a project on East Riverfront. It's under construction. At Harbor Town, we have another project under construction. Between the Renaissance Center and Belle Isle, over the next 10 years, I'd be really surprised if there wasn't 2,500 or 5,000 residential units. That's the kind of demand there is, and it's really starting to explode. Another really cool one that we're working on is Brush Park. We're kind of in this area, really, just north of Comerica. It used to be one of the most affluent areas around. It's essentially empty now. We're going in and redeveloping that. This small piece of it, John and others are working on this project as well as Aria. And so it's really exciting for us. It's going to be mixed income. We're a heavy focus on that as we move forward. This I would call a sort of an urban downtown neighborhood. Let me transition quick into neighborhoods because I have 1 minute left. See, I'm going to be almost on time. And so everything I've talked about so far, for the most part, has been in the core downtown, which is 7 or 8 square miles, depending on how you keep score. The city of Detroit is 138 square miles, right? So that leaves a lot to be dealt with, and we need to deal with it collectively. I showed you the dispersion of where our people live, so it's important to us, but it's also important as a sort of economic enterprise. I mean, the financial and economic experts here would be quick to acknowledge that a city's not going to be successful with 7% of it being productive and 93% of it or something being a challenge, right? So we really have to invest in our neighborhoods, and we have to get those turned around. Some of them are already great, by the way, but we have to fix the ones that we can be fixed. We have to disinvest in some, and we have to create some new ones, right? So it's going to be really interesting. Somebody mentioned Detroit Future City earlier, and that was really the underpinning of this. So we rock. I've been involved with Home Depot in the city. We're going out into those neighborhoods right on the cusp, and we're investing in these things, and we're putting the money in necessary. Some people have the money to buy it, but they don't really have the ability to deal with their refurbishment and so on. So we're going in and fixing them up and then selling them. We're getting comps then that allow people to get appraisals, and that's a big deal. We are also working really hard on an entire blight removal. So we've got, pick a number, 60 or 70,000 units that need to come down, former abandoned houses. We're working through that with the mayor as well. So lots of changes there. Great neighborhoods though that are starting to get, starting to benefit from this as well. Rosedale Park, the Palmer Woods, the Indian Village. I mean, these homes, friends of ours, all of us, are seeing these homes go double in value over the course of the last 5 years. So a lot of it's being realized in downtown, but not just in the downtown. And what's really cool to see now is a lot of the neighborhood retail is starting to come around as well. That was a video that was done by our friends at Downtown Detroit Partnership, and but I think it gives you a sense of the vitality of the city of Detroit, which is very, very dramatically different than 5 or 10 years ago. We're really excited to see it. And yet, I think the sort of the concluding message here, and I'd be happy to take up some Q&A, is we really do think we're just getting started. I mean, we rock, we as a community, and we kind of have a sense that it's not just the city of Detroit, by the way. We're active in Cleveland and other places. We believe that these urban areas are, if they're stocked, they're underpriced, right? And we think that now is the time to be investing in them. And there's a lot of smart people that can bring creative ideas now to try and untap that value, and we're excited to be doing it here sort of as a case study in the city of Detroit. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.